Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off this video by giving all honor, praises, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Kodash. Double honors to our teachers, the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, teaching and ruling well. Salutation, peace, and blessings unto the hopeful elect of the house of Israel. This is Abak from the GMS Montreal camp. Okay, and Lord willing, this lesson will be edified. Okay, and again, I'd like to give all reverence, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kodash. All right, for opening my eyes, opening our eyes, and giving us this understanding of this blessed truth. Okay, and again, as the title entails, we are partakers of Yahawashi suffering. Okay, one thing that we have to understand that we have been sent, that we are in this captivity, not to be exalted in this place, but rather to be purged from our dross, okay? Purged from our evils, okay? Purged from our defaults, so that we can be more like unto Yahushai, okay? And throughout these sufferings, throughout this purging process, we are not to fold, okay? Because it's not for a destruction, but rather for a betterment, so that we may be found faithful after we have endured after we've endured to be found worthy of the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so it says here in 1 Peter 4:12 reads, Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you. Okay, because again, coming to serve the Lord, you will face a temptation. Prepare yourself for temptation if you come to serve the Lord. Okay, so again, as though some strange thing happened unto you. Okay, it's not strange. It was meant to happen because again, the Lord has to clean you up. Okay, you have to be, your mind has to be renewed. Okay, and it's that transformation process, and you becoming a new creature in Yahushai. It takes a lot of experience, a lot of suffering. Okay, a lot of changes have to happen within your life, within your mindset, okay, in order to be perfected in Yahushai. And just as it says, the servant is not greater than his master, okay, just as Yahushai had to go through the same afflictions, okay, because he was also in the flesh, okay, but even though he was perfect in the flesh, okay, he also had to go through these temptations, through the fire, okay, because he was in the flesh, okay. It said he was made perfect through suffering. Okay, he was made patient. He was made perfect through suffering. So how are we going to how are we going to be made perfect through suffering as well? Hence, going through the same suffering as Yahushua. So it says here in 1 Peter 4:13, reading on, but rejoice in so much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering. Rejoice, okay, because again, it's not for a destruction. Okay, we're doing this so that we can inherit the kingdom of heaven. We're putting on as the elect, but it's not easy. Okay, it's the straight gate. We're walking through the straight gate, hoping that we endure unto the end. Okay, so again, but rejoice in so much as ye are partakers of Hamashiach's suffering, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. Salakia. Okay, so again, why? Because again, you're going to be found faithful. Okay, and the Lord has great reward unto those that serve him. Okay, the Lord, just as pertaining to Abraham, it says here in the Hebrews, I believe Hebrews 11, it says here in Hebrews 6, and I'll start at 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have shewed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. So you're doing the work and you're still doing the work. You got into the truth. You accepted this doctrine as being the truth. You call upon the names of Yahweh Bashim Shai in truth and sincerity, and you're walking according to the spirit of truth. Okay? You see? Departing from evil and following what is right in the sight of the Lord. Okay, and we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. That is the important part, that you continue in this walk. Be a followers of YAHAWASHI until the end, until his return, so then you may be rewarded with that crown of life. Okay? You see, once you cross that finish line, you can't, you're certified. Okay? Either if you die for the truth, or whether you um, uh, remain alive and endure in the faith until Yahushua returns, you'll be greatly rewarded, man. Okay? Beyond your wildest dreams. Okay? That ye be not slothful, but follower of them that through faith and patience, through faith in this word, faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and patience which goes into what? Suffering. Patience is synonymous to suffering. So with your faith and your suffering, inherit the promises. Okay? You see? Because again, you're being purged, you're being changed. Okay? You see? It's not a comfortable thing. Okay? But you have to see beyond the pain. Okay, just as a athlete, a professional athlete is temperate in all things. Okay, he endures all things in order to perform at the highest level. We have to have the same mindset and even more, because we're serving the greatest power. We're serving the living power, man, the creator of the universe. Okay, so again, that ye be not slothful. Okay, that we're focused, diligent, fervent for the name of Yahweh Hashem Shai, for this ministry. Okay, because we're not doing this for nothing, man. Okay, we're working in the work of the truth. We are doing the most important work. Okay, speaking to the men of the Lord. Okay, this is not no light thing. We're working for the creator, the master of the universe. Okay, this is not your 9 to 5, man, working for Isa Edom, man. Okay, a being that will be destroyed in the kingdom to come, man. Okay, this work is vain. Okay, the things that you do to pay your bills, to pay for your daily necessities, man, that's vain, man. The real work starts when you work on yourself, work towards the ministry, for the ministry of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's the real work. That's the true job, the true uh, uh, work that pays cash. You see, okay. So it says again, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them that who through faith and patience, aka suffering, inherit the promises. For when the Most High made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself. Okay? He swore by himself, saying, surely I will bless thee, and multiplying. So like saying, surely blessings will I bless thee, and multiplying will I multiply thee. And so after he had patiently endured, okay, so he went through the torments. Okay, you go through the life of Abraham, man, even to the point where he had to sacrifice. The Lord, to test him, to try him, told him to sacrifice his only begotten son, okay, that he had with the woman he loved. Okay, and Abraham was about to do it, man. Okay, she didn't bat an eye. He was going to do it, but the Lord found him faithful in that trial. Okay, and then it says what? So after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. Okay, so he obtained the promise. Okay, after he patiently endured. So just as when you go to work, you clock in, and 2 weeks later, okay, you work the full 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks later you get your pay. Just like that, Abraham suffered first, but then he endured. Okay, that's suffered first, but then after he received the promise. Okay, which in this time we will receive also if we endure unto the end. Just as this, he that endured unto the end, the same shall be saved. Okay, because at the end, that's where you're gonna see your profit. Okay, it's not halfway there, not at the beginning. It's at the end. Okay, at the conclusion of the matter. Okay, so it says here in bear with me. Here we go. It says here in James 5:7, be patient, therefore, brethren. Wait upon Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay? Because the Lord is not a man that he should lie. Okay? So the things that he had promised, the reward that he has reserved unto his elect and those that serve him, he will he will eventually hand them out. Okay, you see, and just as much as you put into the ministry, that's as much as you're gonna get out. Okay, so if you sow sparingly, you will reap sparingly. If you sow bountifully, you will reap bountifully. Okay. So it says here, James 5 and 7, be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. Be ye also patient, be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh, and at his return we will inherit. At his return we will obtain. Okay, we will be changed. Okay. So keep pushing, keep enduring, keep fighting, man. Okay? Again, looking, because again, Yahawashi was given unto us as an example. Okay? It's not like this is something that we don't have a tangible example, something that we can't base this off. Okay? Yahawashi came on the earth, came and walked on this earth in the flesh. Okay? He, as it says, he was tempted as us. So he also endured. Okay? As it says, bear with me. He was blameless. It says here in Hebrews. Salaki. I mean, I'm not the precept guy. I'm more the paraphrase guy. But I'm still trying to find it. Okay. Because again, this is important. I want to bring it out. Yeah, it says here. Let me see. Let me check Hebrews 7. I believe it's that one, but just to make sure, I'll go double check. No, not this one. 9. As tempted as us. Here we go. Hebrews 4 and 14. It says, seeing then that we have a great high priest that has passed into the heavens, Yahawashi, the Son of the Most High, let us hold fast our profession. Okay, what is our profession? That Yahawashi is the Son of the Most High. Okay, that Yahawashi will come and save, deliver his elect. Okay, deliver his people. Okay, and will destroy these other nations and put them into captivity. Okay, the Yahawashi will establish the kingdom of heaven on earth. That is our profession. Okay. And it says here, verse 15, for we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was at all point tempted like as we were, yet without sin. Okay? Yahawashi was tempted. Before the start of his ministry, he fasted 40 days, 40 nights, and he was tempted of Satan. And he rejected Satan. Okay? His whole walk, his whole ministry, he was tempted. Okay? You see? But but all those times, all those spiritual battles he overcame. Okay? Something that no one, okay, none of us could have done. Okay? You see? And that is why Yahawashi is that worthy sacrifice, that unblemished lamb that died, that through his blood we are now bought. We were bought with a price, which was the life of Yahawashi. Okay? So through his sacrifice we have a place of repentance. But that being said, even though we can fulfill his lot, we still have to walk that walk, okay? Being followers of him, because that is the way that the Lord wants us to obtain the kingdom, okay? YAHAWASHI is the way, and we have to walk as his followers. Disciples meaning followers, okay? So YAHAWASHI gave us an example of how to please the Lord. Okay, that was his testimony. The testimony of Yahushua was that he was pleasing unto the Lord, and that we are to follow him, that we are to hearken unto him above the law, statutes, and commandments, above the prophets, that we are to hearken to Yahushua. Okay, you see? So that being said, as it says in Hebrews 12, it says here, verse 2, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith. Okay, so it starts with Yahushua and it ends with Yahushua, Alpha and Omega. Okay, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is sat down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. So not only did he endure, okay, not only did he overcome, but he was greatly rewarded at the end. Okay, he had the vision to see beyond the suffering. Okay, Yahushua now is sitting at the right hand of the Most High. His walk showed us the path to be nigh unto the Lord. Okay, you see, so by following Yahushua's footsteps, okay, we can also expect to be nigh unto the Lord and to be accepted of him through Yahushua, because like I mentioned, we cannot be perfect. Okay, even Yahushua said, I'm not good. Okay, but at least we have an example in him. Okay, we have an example, and we have the final product, because Yahushua completed his walk, and now he received his reward, and his reward will be fully completed when he gets reverenced on the earth completely by these other nations, when the kingdom of heaven is established on the earth. Okay, and again, verse 3, for consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Okay, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. So we're coming into that point where life is going to be in danger, because we refuse to be carnal. We refuse to follow the ways of this world. Okay, our life will be in danger. Our life will be in jeopardy. Okay, because we refuse to follow the ways of Isa Edom, the ways of the devil. Okay, but again, just as Yahushua was rewarded, as he was willing to give up his life for us, we also have to have that same mindset, arm ourselves with the same mind as Yahushua, to give our lives for the Lord, so that we can gain it again. Okay, it says here, in Wisdom of Solomon, Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17. And again, this is pertaining to wisdom, and Yahushua embodied these lines to the T. Okay, Yahushua embodied these lines, and at the end he was rewarded for that. And again, he is the example for us to follow. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And this is pertaining to wisdom. You want to have wisdom. Okay, that means that you're gonna want to be you're gonna want to have discipline. Okay, to follow after wisdom, and love. Okay, and love is the keeping of her laws. Okay, love is not just a four-letter word, it's an action, the keeping of the laws, statutes, and commandments. Love goes into obedience unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and giving heed unto her law is the assurance of incorruption. Okay, you follow after the law, statutes, and commandments. That makes you holy, that makes you separate. Okay, because the law, statutes, and commandments is the way of the heaven. Okay, is the lifestyle of the heaven, is the law of the is the law from above. Okay, You see that that Yahawashi will establish on this earth. Right now, the king, as it says, the kingdom of heaven is in you. Why? Because we have this knowledge, we have this faith. Okay, you see, and as long as we keep following and obeying Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the kingdom of heaven is here, man. Okay, so again, it make it keeping the keeping of your law is the assurance of incorruption. Okay, but the fact that we are in the flesh, that's where the battle starts. Okay, the inner conflict. Okay, because the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, you see, even the fact that we're in captivity, that the law is slack. Okay, because the wicked are in rulership. Okay, that flipped, that made evil good and good wicked, that made evil good and good evil. Okay, so now it's like you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments puts you in a disadvantage in this society, this wicked society, man. Okay, but Yahweh Shai will flip everything right side up, man. Okay, and again, so I'll read that again. And love is the keeping of your law. So the love, which is the keeping of the commandments, and giving heed unto her law is the assurance of incorruption. Yahweh Shai, in his walk as Yahweh Shai in that reincarnation, was incorrupted. It was not corrupted by the ways of the world. He overcame the flesh. Okay, again, something that no man can claim to have been able to do. Okay, this is something that only Yahweh Shai was able to do. That is why he was worthy, when he was sacrificed, to go into the spiritual realm and open and unseal the book, and allow us to receive the Holy Spirit. Okay, only he was able to do it, and that's another reason why he is to be honored. Okay, you see, and again it says here, incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High. Okay, and again, as Yahweh Shai managed to live an unblameless, a blameless life, Salakia, as Yahweh Shai was able to live a blameless life, okay, he was awarded, okay, to sit next to the Lord Yahweh. He's sitting right next to Yahweh on his right hand. Okay, that's how incorruption led him to be nigh unto the Lord. So how are we gonna be close unto Yahweh Shai in that time? Okay, how much closer are we going to be to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by following Yahweh Shai's walk, the guidelines that he has given unto us, man. Okay, you see, as it says, Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 28, to the point, for the Most High loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. You don't have wisdom, the Lord hates you. Okay, if you have wisdom, the Lord loves you. Okay, and what is wisdom? The beginning, the fear of the Lord. That is the beginning of wisdom. By fearing the Lord, okay, you have wisdom. By applying the scriptures, that is understanding. By applying and keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, abstaining from evil, that is understanding. And by doing these things, by having these two things, wisdom and understanding, okay, that makes you closer and closer and closer to the Lord. As it says, as it says, as it was in your mind to go astray from him, seek him 10 times more. Meaning, read. Okay, as it says, blessed are those that read. Okay, seek the Lord, obey the Lord more and more and more. Okay, because through your reading, you'll get more edified. Okay, and again, you need the proper teachers. But as you get more understanding, as you get more knowledge of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you learn how to properly serve Him, and now you're abstaining more and more from the ways of the world. Okay, which again comes with suffering. Okay, because now you're separating yourself from the world. The world sees you as evil now. Okay, they separate themselves from you because they can't keep up with you being with you seeking the Lord, man. Okay, and that's a good thing. That means that you're in the right track, man. Okay, see, that all goes into the suffering of Yahweh Shai, having to lose things on this side, man. Okay, but again, as I started, rejoice that the world turns their back on you. Rejoice that you're being mocked for the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Okay, rejoice that you're made. You became the laughing stock of the world because of what you believe in, because of who you believe in, because of who you worship. Rejoice, man, because at the end, okay, you will be greatly rewarded. Okay, you see, it says here. Now close up with this. Second Timothy 2:10. Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain salvation, which is in Hamashiach YAHAWASHI with eternal glory. Salvation is in who? YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. Okay? And Paul said he endures all things, mockery, scoffing, famine, nakedness, okay? Being uh, marked for death, okay? Being the enemy of the world. He endures that so that he can also be an example unto the hopeful elect, those that follow at YAHAWASHI. Because again, we do not labor for us only, but we labor for everyone that wants to seek the Lord. Okay, because this is a a, a common effort. Okay, as it says, the sword sharpen iron sharpen the iron. Okay, we are our brother's keeper. Okay, or our sister's keeper. Okay, we're doing these videos to exhort our fellow hopeful elect, okay, because this is not for everyone. Not everyone's gonna take heed to the message, but this is for those that truly hearken unto Yahweh Bashim Yahshai and seek to serve him. Okay, we seek, we edify, we exhort people to turn to the Lord, to forsake their evil ways, to stop with their idolatry. Okay, to seek the Lord in truth and sincerity, according to what is written in the scriptures, according to the light, okay, to the true understanding of the Lord, okay. So therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that I may also obtain the salvation which is in Yahawashi Hamashiach, okay, with eternal glory. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. Coming into the truth, you're dead to the world. Because again, you have to reject it. You can't be lukewarm. You can't have one foot in the world, one foot in the kingdom. Okay? You see? It tells you to have a pilgrim mindset. Okay? Those that invest as those that will lose. Those that have family as those that will lose their family. Okay? Those that buy as those that will lose the profit. Okay? Everything that you do in the back of your mind, you cannot put your hopes in these things. You cannot put your hope in the things that are tangible, but rather you can put your hope in the things that are in the spirit. Okay? Because in the time of Jacob's trouble, in the time, because hey, we are already in the time of Jacob's trouble. But in the time where tribulation comes knocking at your door, you don't know where you're gonna be. You don't know how you're gonna be situated. Okay? Who's gonna be by your side? Okay? Okay? You can't count on the physical money. Okay, you won't be able to count on this currency that we have in this time now, because Isa Edom is going to seek to implement his new world order, and if you are the elect, you're not going to partake into it. So already there, anything that relates to money, it's dead. Okay, anything that relates to money, you can't even count on that, man. Your bank account, the money that you saved up, all that is in the waters, man. Okay, you see. All that you can trust in is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Okay? So I'll finish with this. It is a faithful saying, for if we be dead with him, we shall also live with him. If we suffer, we shall also reign with him. Yahushai is that guideline. He suffered, he endured, he overcame, he was rewarded. And greater rewards are to come for Yahushai. Okay? Greater exaltation. Because again, you have to remember, he was greatly mocked. Okay, so how much more? He was mocked for righteousness' sake. He was mocked for telling the truth. Okay, so how much more greater the "I told you so" is gonna be. Okay, you see, he didn't Yahushua tell the people that were accusing him, that you will see, that one day you will see the Son of Man returning in his glory, okay, with the angels of the Lord, okay. Yahushua did mention that, man. At the time, it went over these people's head, okay. But when he returns, okay, that's hey, you can't put a price on that, man. The great I told you so, because Yahushua knows who he is. You don't have to convince Yahushua that he's, just as Satan came to him and told him, if you're the son of the Most High, throw yourself from this mountain. The Lord will send angels for you. If you're the son of the Most High, turn this rock into bread and wine. Okay, Yahushua didn't need to convince anyone. He knows who he is. Okay, that is why in the same mindset, you don't have anything to prove unto anyone. Okay, if you truly believe that this is the truth, if you truly believe that you are of the elect, okay, walk as the elect, put on as the elect, keep walking and endure unto the end as the elect would, now loving your life even unto death as the elect would. Okay, you have nothing to prove unto the world, man, because everything is already written and everything will come to pass. Okay, the destruction of this place, the salvation of the faithful. Okay, as how the unbelievers, how the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All that is already written. We're just going through the motion. Okay, and the times are going through fast. They're going by fast. So all you have to do is wait and hope and be patient in the Lord, man. Okay, if we suffer, we shall also reign with him. We suffer now, but we will be greatly exalted soon. Okay, the mockery, the suffering, the fire, okay, the hell that we're going through is not forever. Again, as I read, the Lord is not unrighteous to forget everything that we've done for him in this hellish situation. The Lord will reward us, man. Okay, you see, if we deny him, he will also deny us. If we believe not, Salakia, Satan didn't like that. If we believe not, yet he abide faithful. He cannot deny himself. Yahushua is not going to say, I'm not the Messiah. Yahushua knows who he is. He's true to himself. He came to fulfill the will of the Lord. Okay? And he still has work to do, man. He still has work to do. He still has to come deliver us, man. Okay? You see? So if you don't believe, it's okay. It doesn't matter. If you don't believe, it doesn't matter. Okay? Will the unfaithfulness of the unfaithful make the faith of YAHAWASHI to none effect? Hey, never. Lord forbid. Okay? These things that will come to pass. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but these words will not pass away. Okay? Heaven and earth shall pass away, but these words will not pass away until all be fulfilled. Okay? This is something that we can trust in. If you deny Yahushua, he will deny you. Okay? If you don't believe, it doesn't matter. He cannot deny himself. Okay? All right? So yes, we suffer now, but just as Yahushua suffered and overcame and was rewarded, we will also, if we endure unto the end, be greatly rewarded. Okay? As it says, let me end with this. Yeah, I think there's a bit more precepts, but it says here, James 1:12, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them that love him. Okay? Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, that you overcome, that you go through it, but you don't lose your faith, you don't lose hope. As it says, if you lose hope in that time, your faith is weak. Okay? Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive. So you're tried, and then you will receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised. So it's promised. And again, the Lord is not a man that he should lie. So if it's already promised, he will give it to you. You just have to go through the fire. Okay? Which the Lord had promised to them that love him. Okay? I have another precept. It wasn't this one. No. It says here. Yep. 2 Timothy 4 and 7. And this is Paul speaking. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. So he endured unto the end, and I have kept the faith. So he did the work. He endured unto the end. He has kept the faith. He's still in the truth. Salakia. Henceforth, there is laid for me a crown of righteousness, because he has walked the straight and the straight gate. He walked through the straight gate and managed to make it through the end. At the end of that path, there is a crown of righteousness waiting for him, which the Lord, the righteous power, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing, all those that walk the same walk, all those that are followers of Paul as they are followers of YAHAWASHI, okay, they will receive a crown for their faithfulness, for their works, for their faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? So just as we're suffering with them, we shall also be rewarded. We shall also reign with them. Okay? If you delight in rulership, if you have a taste for the higher things of life, there's nothing better than to suffer for righteousness' sake. Okay? So Lord willing, this was edifying. Okay, until next lesson, I'll give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Achakodash. Until next lesson, Shalom.